Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me? All right, thank you so much. Welcome. We are going to get started with this evening's event. Thank you all for being here this afternoon. Thank you for following my traffic control instructions. I want to welcome you all to Mahogany Browne reading, which is sponsored by the Honors College and supported by Flower Poetry Center. I want to say a shout out hello to our online audiences. Let Megan know if you can't hear me. Hopefully you can. We're trying some fancy new technology over here. But we're so grateful that you're joining us on this wonderful Thursday afternoon. My name is Lauren Elaine, and I'm the Executive Director of the Flower Poetry Center here at James Madison University. We do a lot of stuff here on campus and in the community and in the wider literary world. But I'm going to talk to you about the biggest one that's happening. We hold a decennial conference. Decennial meaning literally once a decade. So once every decade, Fierce Flower gathers Black poets in community and conversation. Call it the Black Poetry Family Reunion, call it the Black Poetry State of the Union, celebrating the amazing work and tradition of Black poets and innovations in Black poetry in the previous decade, and also looking ahead to what's to come. We're thinking about the role of Black poets in American and world letters. This year is the fourth such conference. It will be held here at JMU, September 18th to 21st. And so for information on that, please visit our conference website, 2024.fierceflower.org. So 2024.fierceflower.org, and you will find out all the amazing things that are happening with our conference. Registration will be opening in a few weeks online, folks. So follow us on social media, visit the website for updates. In between the every 10-year conference events, we also do stuff. And one of those is our Fierce Flower reading series, which of course is what tonight's event is a part of. Again, I want to thank the JMU Honors College for partnering and making this possible. Dr. Montoya, Bethany, Dean Bethany over there, thank you so much. Blackstone, I was like, what is me? All right, so let me move on to introducing tonight's reader. Mahogany Browne is a writer, educator, activist, curator, mother, community, and institution builder. Yes, she's a busy woman. She hosted the renowned New York Cafe poetry scene for over 13 years. She's taught at every educational access point from K-12 to college, detention centers, prisons, and senior centers. During her time here the last day, she's worked with our faculty and staff and also with our students, so they've had workshops with her as well. She currently serves as the inaugural poet in residence at the Lincoln Center in New York City, where she curates virtual and in-person events that focus on connecting communities to the arts, to artists and institutions, as well as to each other. She's the founder of Black Girl Magic Ball, which celebrates Black women, the Woke Baby Book Fair, which is a diverse literature initiative. She's received fellowships from All Arts, Arts for Justice, Cave Canem Poets House, Mellon Research, and many others. You can find her work on television. She was on PBS, at the Poetry Foundation and various places on the internet. She's published several books of fiction, poetry, and also she's written stage plays, screenplays, children's books. In other words, she's also very prolific. Mahogany opens her latest collection of poems, I think it's her 13th, Chrome Valley, which won the 2024 Patterson Prize with these lines. When you're a Black writer in America, it gets harder to ignore the bodies. Mahogany Browne has never ignored the bodies. Not the incarcerated bodies, not the addicted bodies, not the ill bodies, not the Black and brown and woman bodies, not the social bodies we call nation or country, not the bodies bound by blood that we call family or tribe. They're all seen in her work, clearly, honestly, lovingly. What blooms from such a seeing is the richness of what is often overlooked, how history lives in these bodies, how injustice thrives on the backs of those bodies, how love lives in these bodies, how to grieve those bodies in their absence, how to name them in their complexities. In this way, Browne reminds us that writing is an action. It's not the only action, but it is an action, and that through language we're able to name and define and remember and love and grieve and thrive. In I Remember Death by Its Proximity to What I Love, which is, I think, the second to last book, she repeats again and again, if I can write, I do, claiming for the written word its rightful place as meaningful action, as necessary action, as action that can move us towards justice, towards wholeness, towards love. We're so fortunate to have with us this inspiring writer, an incredible human. Please join me in giving a JMU Furious Flower Honors College We Are Awesome welcome to Mahogany Browne.
Thank you, Dr. Elaine. Can you hear me? Is my mic on? Is my mic on?
I don't think so.
The green light is on. All of the lights are on. All of the lights, all of the lights. Give it up for Megan. Helping with the technical difficulties. One, two. Can you hear anything? Nope. Trying again. I hope she can see me. If you can see us, help. Trying this one.
1, 2, 8. Saucy. Good evening, JMU. Thank you for hosting me for the last 48 hours and for introducing me to air fried chicken wings. I am a fan. I'm going to be reading some poems from several placements. New things in the last 2 books. I'll start, I think, with the meditation. Yeah, that'll be good. And then it goes up. How's that? Cool. So because some of us are coming out of classes, I know you're probably very tired. Eyes are already closed. Good. Go ahead and raise your arms above your head. Wiggle those fingers. Feel the vertebrae pop, 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 pop. Yeah, it feels good. I hear it. Like a nice Rice Krispies commercial. And as you're wiggling your fingers, let them fall gingerly and gently down into your lap, open face, on your knees, and close your eyes. And this mantra, this meditation I'm going to share with you is to hopefully get you through the next couple of days, months, however long you need it. Today you will. Today you choose. Today is yours. Today is only today. Tomorrow ain't here yet, so slow down. Slow down. Breathe softly. Breathe slowly. Breathe for the homies that ain't here. Breathe for the homies that is. Breathe for your own good skin, your smile, your you. Now come back. Come back. Come back to yourself. Look at your cheekbones. Look at the loft of your eyebrows. You're so worthy. You so heavy in your weight of yes. You so necessary. You so fly. You wet the water. You cool the brow. You heat the skillet. You the sunset and the sustenance. You keep them chasing the sparks you leave. Today you will. And today you choose. And today is yours. Yes, today is only today. Because tomorrow ain't here yet, so slow down. Slow down, breathe. Softly, slowly, breathe. For the homies that ain't here, breathe. For the kin that is, breathe. For your own good skin, your smile, your you, come back, come back, come back to yourself. Miraculous stargaze, most fortunate sky beam. Beyond brilliant be your resilience, but you knew that already. Who told you any different? You tell them today you will. And today you choose. And today is yours. Yes, today is only today. Because tomorrow ain't here yet, so slow down. Slow down. Breathe. Softly breathe. Slowly breathe. For the homies that ain't here, breathe. For the kin that is, breathe. For your own good skin, your smile, your tribe, your you. Come back, come back, come back to yourself. Anything that don't heighten your stride, leave it today. Anything that don't propel your wingspan forward, leave it today. Whoever told you you wasn't strong, whoever told you you wasn't fly, whoever told you you wasn't brilliant, whoever told you you wasn't beautiful is a lie. Deep breath in through your nose, exhale out through your mouth. All right, let's blink ourselves back into the present. Thank you for trusting me. And we're going to jump into it. How will they know you are healed? If you never wear the expensive dress and point out the value of your smile over the weight of the price tag. How will they know what healing looks like if they can't spy who tagged you in your Insta stories? If they can't follow your journey online, if they can't see you frolicking during your sabbatical, if they don't know how your process, your hyper-awareness, your emotional acuteness gives you enough rope to hang a nightmare, the way you forgive no one, not even yourself. Can you be honest enough with the howling in your chest? Does it sound like your mother's failure? Does it sound like your own certain step through the doors of a clinic? I have learned to live a true life. I have lied to keep my ego alive. I have lied to kill my ego too. I am not as important in your head as I think. I am not as important in these poems as I think, which is to me nothing here will remain. Not even the language of love. I have learned to give my all to a space and leave my womb empty. If womb is another word for hands, if womb is another word for heart, if womb is another word for body, mind, soul, more than organs, more like celestial sphere, a radius of heat and hurt so profound the entire earth spins like a child's toy. I have learned to love the most fleeting beings like this, even today, which feels like a nightmare before the dream is restored. Sweet, sleep milk, each eye a witness, I flutter a return to REM, even today, when nothing but the water, murky and Mississippi thick with death, there is still a way to remember your own reflection. your goodness, your high vibrations. Tremble the trickled liquid, a return, a rememory, a recollection. How will they know what healing looks like if you've already discovered you are all you need? You are what is real. You are right where you need to be. You are right who you need to be. Dear you, before you evolve, new chapter, new water, new hope restored, new faith, new gate. All glory is yours. And today, all of this flooding is a declaration of how you deserve to feel, how you got the right to spill and touch the good sod too. How your eyes got the right to pour open salt wounds and rake clean the shame that silence guarantees. How will they know you are healed unless you are willing to break? So let me snap, love. Yeah, let me burst, love. I mean, wash everything you see with your voice open wide, and slaughter the dry crop until rich roots reach through the soil and sings, dear you, who remain here anyway. Log or loom, flight or forgiveness, every way you have arrived is a symbol for stay a while, friend. I love you. I am you. I hurt when you hurt too, and every way in which you leave is an absolute choice. But if you can choose to stay a bit longer, consider us home. For Sister Sonia, I wrote this piece to celebrate her living, her work. Because of her, I know that I am. You know, there are some books that you find in a library or in a cavern, and it was her voice that I found. And so it's with great honor that I'm able to say I'm still writing because of her and her mentorship. This is called Root Workers. And this is also, it has a nod at someone that is quoted already in the Furious Flower. Maybe you can catch it. We roll up sleeves and bend from the knees. We sing beneath our breath, it's gonna be heavy. We still swing big despite the justice system of letdown, and we still show up on time. We arms open, we hands open, we hearts open, and we love the way we fight until empty, until sun replenishes, until laughter fills the well, until a black baby grows without fear. We return to the front line, we hammer, we hatchet, we ready to love a life. We ready to rock a stone cold gaze into dust. The black girl you watched harassed is someone's daughter. The black woman you watched berated is someone's daughter. There is no redemption in swinging out of your weight class. There is no glory in the demise of our black women. We be the daughters. We be the bridge makers. We be the pot servers. We be the cleanup crew. We be the aunties. We be the writers. We be the spell weavers. We be the holiest of holy. We pray for you. We double-edged women. We gather like a fist of freedom papers. We coal of storm. We coal of storm and glory. We a country surrounded by ghosts. We pray for ourselves. We watch our sisters pray for we blessed in this knowing. We black palms open and up. We black spirit and divine. We ain't never been steel bars. We ain't never been glass ceiling. We ain't never shuck, nah. We saunter the testimony. We clean the spirit. We manifest. And we ain't leaving till we choose. We be the daughters. And we got root work to do. Shout out to Gwendolyn Brooks. Shout out to you who know. This is a brand new piece. I wrote it for a dear friend, Hala Alyan, who released a beautiful book of poetry. He's a Palestinian-American poet. And it begins with an epigraph from Andy Warhol. I think having land and not ruining it is the most beautiful art that anybody could ever want to own. Flower, flowers, petals, leaves. The green is free to evolve brown like all humans do. Flowers, pellets, acorns, meadow. But what do we do about those de-evolving under the guise of allegiance? I pledge my word to your living. I honor the martyr's memory with my own ferocious desire to live and love as free as the wind, as free as any man. Flowers, soil, spoiled. Flour makes the bread, makes the cake, makes the roux, makes we human. Who are you when your humanity is deducted by the amount of melanin present? Who are your children when reduced to a border law? Who are the brave that watch and cry and watch and weep and scroll inside with a small and tiny lease on life? Become dangerous to the destruction. Become a nuisance to decorum. Become dangerous to the destruction. Become a nuisance to decorum. Become human again. Become human again. Become human again. Become human. Stay there, you beautiful specimen, but do not bow to the fear. Do not bow to the silence. Instead, look. Just look. The flowers will bloom, whether you believe it or not. Thank you. Okay, so I'm just gonna hold that right there, or I'm not gonna hold it. Okay. I just gotta get my book. This is wild. I didn't break it.
I don't think so.
Okay, it's broke, and I didn't do it. I think that leads me right to my second to last book. I Remember Death by Its Proximity to What I Love is a book-length poem. It's a book-length poem investigating the impact of mass incarceration on women and children, specifically thinking of my story and the life that I had to learn after losing my father to the prison industrial complex. And if you open the book, there are borders. Each page is bordered by acronyms, and each of those acronyms are the name of a prison in California. So even these words are detained. If my mother were ever convicted for her addiction like my father, I wonder who I would be robbing now. The data from the Fragile Family Study says my kind of survival displays more behavioral problems in early juvenile delinquency. I say, you right. I rode the night with a pistol in my gray hoodie, spitting image of my father, his nickname akin to Boom, his red skin the only thing I remember, him towering over me, black hair, red bloodshot eyes, already running, already gone. This was the closest time I ever came to becoming a woman with a number for a name. It is easier than you think to lose yourself in search of resemblance. Politicians with expensive silk ties cut taxes, pad pockets, sterilize would-be mothers, charge their district with the bill. Cue the reality TV series. Suggest art programs to settle the inmates and wonder why humans climb the walls, trying to escape their own skin after the teaching artist is asked to stop bringing poems that encourage collective behavior. Marathon runs of Wentworth mist the room like smoke clouds, and I know TV is only TV to someone that ain't never been forced to look outside their own heartbreak before. What's a cliff dive to a black man hustled by his own country? He earns 92 cents an hour and my tuition still ain't free. The woman behind the financial aid counter asked me what my father makes. I say, furniture for the dorms here. I say, grandfatherless children. I say, I don't know who he is. I entered the gates of a boys' prison menacing the border of Bristol, England. The smell that refuses to leave my jean jacket 3 days later must resemble the air of Pelican Bay. I tossed the jacket in the trash. Privileged with the ability to push away the dilemma of a nation-induced disorder. Nation-induced disorder was the original name of this poem until I realized it is a worldwide condition fueled by capitalism. This global epidemic is rampant in Thailand, Australia, Mexico, Honduras, Brazil, Papua New Guinea, Ukraine, and Belize. This must be the scent of apathy. This is the closest I'll ever come to visiting my father. The blackest night. (1993). Jesus came to the crib, saw the blackest girl with her box braids and hammer in hand, climbed past the steel-gated screen door, looked at the shorty with the gleaming scalp, shining bright. Black girl lips smack at the sight of Jesus. Everybody around these parts bend corners quick, so she's like, where you been? She questions his arrival late as a summer sunset, but still hot and on time. Praise be. Jesus don't hold grudges. Come right into the crib, black girl staring with salty eyes, as fly as he made her, and he like, that's good. Which is my favorite thing to say because I learned that from James Madison Johnson. Redbone dances. Anybody seen their parents in love before? Raise your hands real quick. Oh, y'all are unicorns. Shout out to you. I never saw it, so I had to look at a picture and then imagine. If you ain't never watched your parents kiss, ain't never had them teach you about the way the lips will bend and curve against a lover's affirmation, if you ain't watched the knowing nod of sweethearts worn away in soft, 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 as the speaker box is blown out hiss, if you ain't sure there was a time when their eyes held each other like a nexus, breaking the lock to dip dark marbles into hopeful corners of the shot glass, if you ain't never known a Saturday night slick with glittered promises and clouds wrapped wet in a pendergrass croon, if you ain't been taught how a man can hold you close, so close, it looked like a crawl, if you ain't had the memory of your mother and father sliding hip to hip, their feet whisper a slow shuffle and shift, her hand on his neck, grip the shoulder of a man that will pass his daughter's bad tempers and hands like bowls. If you ain't watched a man lean into a woman, his eyes slide across her bronze, his hands pillared in her auburn hair, her throat holds the urge to hear how her voice sounds against the wind of him. If your skin can't fathom the fever of something as necessary as this, then you can't know the hurricane of two bodies, how those two bodies can create the prospect of a sunrise, how that sunrise has got a name, it sounds like a blues song or a woman's heartbreaking. From the record player skipping, the sky almost blue. So I interviewed my mom for a while. This is when we were finding each other again. She's born-again Christian, clean. She's G-Mama, teaching everybody how to make gumbo. They are not good at it. She's good. They are not good at it. She's good. And so these are the poems that happened in her voice. I'm going to share a couple. And her nickname was Redbone. Redbone in box wine. You were the hardest to raise. You just needed too much. By the time you was 13, maybe 14 years old, I was done being anybody's mama. I had us a nice place, a desk job working for the state. I had some friends with no drama, just music and cools, playing cards and drinking box wine. You like to drive me crazy, always asking about Bam, where and when he coming to visit. If he gonna send some more of them earrings in the broken china box that turns your ears all types of nasty colors. I still don't know where they came from. All I know is when I smell another woman on the hot plastic. But hell, I let you be. You ain't got much to remember him by, no how. You got his eyes though. Yeah, them all his. And then when I think about my mother, I think about the woman that she looked to during that time. And one was my grandmother, my maternal grandmother. One was her mother, and my paternal grandmother, and then there was my great aunt, who was really about that life. I had no idea. I just, knew her as a 70-year-old woman who was feisty, and I learned a little bit about her. I'll share. It's called Betty Says, and she ain't got a lot to say, but she says stuff. Betty didn't take kindly to a man's instruction. She preferred to tell him where to shove his opinion instead. My grand aunt was the oldest to a brother with bricks for hands. Her glare promised a gun button for any man that touched her expensive handbag. At the age of 90, she didn't hesitate to swing, cutting the wind in half with her small arms. She snarled, "He trying to steal my stuff." She was usually right. Betty taught her sister-in-law 3 things. 1, how to cock a gun. 2, how to bet on racehorses and win. 3, how to run, why to run, and when to stand tall against a dynamite suit of a man. A cigarette stiff on the cliff between her lips the entire time. Betty says, I got a secret. I knew I would be nobody's bride. It's better like this. Besides, I ain't into taking gifts from horses, no way. She's really hot. I love her. I love her so much. I did see her swing up on somebody, and I was like, ooh. If she would have connected, that would have hurt. I think I'll read one more from the book, and then I'll read a couple of back to the newbies, and then I'll close with one small piece. If we praise the names of our fallen, we lift the broken with our light. We praise their names in the hands that write. Praise the mouths that speak. Praise the truth that soars from the spine of the most nimble creatures. Praise us creatures and our modest fragility. Praise the humility, the learned spaces, the space that dissolves and births the wind. Praise the wind and the storms that change course. Praise the creatures born and reborn. Praise the boom bap, split silence, shattered. Praise the fragmented bodies and heavy breathing like rain. Praise the rain. Praise the rain. Praise the rain. Praise the rain. Praise our feeding hearts. The rain feeding our hearts and homes and leaves. Praise the green. Praise the black. Praise the bullet breaking brown flesh like fruit. Praise the fruit. Praise the stomachs and minds unfed. Praise the hungry. Praise the God in everything. Praise yourself. Praise your own flesh. Sinewy, boundless, overweight, glorious, and alive. Praise the life. Praise the durable love.
Praise our sovereign journey. Praise the destruction, how it reminds us that ribs heal and purpled lips return perfect and point towards the sun. Praise the burial. Praise the new day. Praise the new day. Praise the new day and the healing. Praise the repetition. The times it will take us to remember we are beautiful. We are beautiful. We are beautiful and worth the stretched breath of the unimagined and unseen. Praise the nightmares we've endured, the salt we've tasted in our release. Praise the divine living and our voices reaching towards the sky, singing our own name.
Thanks, y'all. So the pandemic was intense, can confirm. So glad we survived and are surviving. And for those who did not make it this far, maybe to say their names and remember their songs and their stories. This is called Fusion, and it was commissioned by the Bradford Literary Festival. And I think, it was the first full year of the pandemic, so we were still, working via Zoom. Fusion, thrive. If you want to see the sunrise, let's talk about our evolution over bread and butter, sweet oat milk and burn candles. If you want to see the sunset, look out the window. Can you see the smoldering bridge? The undoing becomes a verb. It all burns, like clean steel and prayers. Newspapers, gossip rags, and old paycheck stubs, it all burns, Down, down, down until the entire scorched smells like ghost peppers. Today, it has been a year of mass living. There are babies born before the vaccination ever took flight. And my blood fears what will happen if I risk my life again. The trees, the trees, the trees are standing as firm as they please. No noose, no noose, no swing low blues to burden the roots. Who believes the big house wasn't designed to burn? Where did our tax dollars really go? 15 minutes and the first dose of tomorrow spreads hot kisses inside my veins. My mama ain't survived for me to keep surviving. I sing beneath my breath like a swamp bubble reaching for air. Thrive, thrive, thrive. I'm gonna do, So I'm gonna do 2 more poems, and then sign books. Q&A. So if you have a question, I hear you get extra points if you have a question. I don't know, I just said that. But I have the honor of reading this poem alongside the New York Philharmonic. It was the first time that they returned to Lincoln Center, and it was the first time they had not been able to play 500 days straight. So this was a monumental moment, and kind of chilling to be able to be in that space again. Hopeful. It's called A Country of Water. I know who I am because I believe it. The breath in my chest, insistent in its choice. The skin that I'm in. The bones and blood and veins it carries like a promise. Have you witnessed the ocean? Moving with so much gust and life, have you witnessed the river? Still waters bubbling the rebirth of school, have you witnessed your own body? Becoming its own country of water, moving against the tide of a world so damning it's forgotten its own voice. Be still, friend. Be still. Be kind to yourself in the gift of stillness. I know who I am because I believe it. I know who I believe. In threes we will come.
A drip of water moving against a boulder. Water slow and steady can turn rock into a pebble, like anxiety, like self-doubt, smaller, smaller, until gone. Let your love for yourself be the water, be the rise, be the mist. Let you be. I know who I am because I believe it. I believe I am my mother's daughter. I believe I am my great-grandmother's prayers. I believe I am my grandmother's backbone revealed. I am because I believe so. I am because a woman believed in me. What a continent I became. What a country of water I be. I flow and fluid and ebb and rise, and I believe in me. I am not wrong. I have been wronged. In this skin I've reclaimed from the trap of this country's tourniquet, only to find the sweet solace is a riverbed. Its mud beckons me closer to its silt. I believe in the air as much as I believe in the fire. I believe in the fire as much as the water consumes. I believe in a higher source, energetic and wise. I believe in my ability to thrive. This body is a good thing. Turning 2 miles, walked over a bridge into a family's meal. Creating poems that become cashier's checks, dentist bills and rent. I've 3 holes in my teeth and a nation that pretends I didn't almost die for it to survive. I am still here, still here. I am still here. And like the ocean, full of salt and shells, full of ship remnants and noble ones, I bleed and the sand grieves. I be because someone survived for me to be here today, breathing this almost air, marching for cleaner belongings. My seat beneath the deadening stars is still a seat, is still a ground, is still a home that can pronounce my given name, to write amongst the forgotten names, the taken and the ignored. But today, there are no tombstones. There is no true death. Only life, only life, only a song of the living. Maybe even a belief system with water as its minister. I am water. I dive into my own currents. I dress my dreams in the satin breath of my ancestors. I know who I am. I know who I am because I believe it. And so my final piece is one that I did for PBS. It went viral. I didn't know what that meant. My daughter told me. And she said, it's good. I was like, oh, great. And then she said, don't look at the comments. All that to say, listen to your children. They be knowing. But this poem is about reclamation of self and your own light, especially in a space where folks try to gaslight you to make you think that you are not beautiful and divine in your own right. Black girl magic. They say you ain't supposed to be here, black girl. You ain't supposed to wear red lipstick. You ain't supposed to wear high heels. You ain't supposed to smile in public. You ain't supposed to smile nowhere, black girl. You ain't supposed to be no more than a girlfriend. You ain't supposed to get married. You ain't supposed to want no dream that big. You ain't supposed to dream at all. You ain't supposed to do nothing but carry babies and carry felons and carry weaves and carry silence and carry families and carry confusion and carry a nation, but never an opinion. Because you ain't supposed to have nothing to say, black girl, not unless it's a joke. Because you ain't supposed to love yourself, black girl. You ain't supposed to find nothing worth saving in all that brown. You ain't supposed to know that Tina, Beyonce, Cicely, Shonda, Rhymes, shine, 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 black girl. You ain't supposed to love your mind. You ain't supposed to love. You ain't supposed to be loved up on. You only supposed to pose voodoo child, vixen style. You're supposed to pop out babies and hide the stretch marks. You're supposed to be still. So still they think you statue. So still they think you chalk outline. So still they keep thinking you stone. Until you look more Medusa than Viola Davis. Until you sound more Shanae than Kerry Washington. Until you're more side-eyed than Michelle Obama on a Tuesday, but you tell them you are more than a hot comb and washing set. You are Kunta Kinte's kin. You are a black girl worth remembering, and you are a threat. Knowing yourself, you are a threat. Loving yourself, you are a threat. Loving your kin, you are a threat. Loving your children, you black girl magic, you black girl fly, you black girl brilliant, you black girl wonder, you black girl shine, you black girl bloom, you black girl, and you turning into a beautiful black woman right before our eyes. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you. We are so tech savvy.
This is giving you time to think of questions. Can you say something if they have questions?
Yeah, anyone have questions?
Hello, there we go. Hi, y'all. So, Mahogany will answer questions. I will bring this mic to you. Questions from the audience. I see people.
Hi, Cypress.
Can you repeat the question for them?
I will repeat the question.
Hi there. There's a lot of vulnerability in your work, and so my question comes to, when do you know that something is ready to be shared, as opposed to just being written?
When do you know something is to be shared, as opposed to something that's just been written? I believe in process notes. I believe that poems hit the air different after you read them to a room. You learn a lot of editing tips and strategies by hearing the poem out loud, rather than just relying on what it looks like on the page. Personally, I know that I'm going to read this poem as a part of the arsenal. If it doesn't take me out of myself, like if I'm not so shaken that I'm crying through the poem. Crying is great, it's good, but it's not worth the artist or the reader to undo themselves for public consumption. So if I'm not healed enough to say that poem out loud, I won't. That's my only barometer for whether it's ready to be shared or not. When I think of perfection, I think of loneliness. I think there's no such thing. And I live in that beautiful, sweet spot called perfect imperfections. I'm willing to fail, I'm willing to get it wrong, because the lessons that I learned in these experiences are far more greater than having the poem be absolutely what I wanted it to be every single time. Thank you.
Put your hands in the air.
And wave them like you just don't care. Hi.
Hi, how did you start writing poetry?
How did I start writing poetry? In fourth grade, I memorized James Weldon Johnson's The Creation for an oratory competition. We got second place the first year. I went back the second year and we won. And then I fell kind of out of love with poetry in high school. My AP Lit teacher, my English Lit teacher, said that I would not get a passing grade with the project that I turned in, and the project was to revisit a classic with a contemporary voice, and I revisited Dante's Inferno with NWA lyrics. I thought I killed it, just saying. But that moment changed my life forever, because she said, it's lewd, it's vulgar, absolutely not, do something else or you fail. And so I did something else, I got the grade, but I did not return to poetry until I was 21. So 5 years go by, and I'm dared to go onto an open mic stage and the bug bit me because I was like, okay, if you dare me and we daring each other, we're going to both do it. Fine. It was my aunt. And the next week we returned. She signed me up first, and I did the poem, and it was bad. It was not great. No lies. Okay. I think I said star 69 in the poem, and if you're old school, you know that it means something. That's before we had caller ID. But it was like, I was just trying something and telling about, an experience where a girl was trying to take my boyfriend. It was very Jolene. He was giving Jolene. And I got a standing ovation. Bugged me out. Again, not my best poem in my, heart. But that moment was enough for me to realize, like, oh, I've been needing this outlet. I need a space to just share stories because the anger was bubbling up so much that nothing in life was good. And at that point, I had a 1-year-old daughter, and I just wanted to have some kind of happiness that could fill me up so that I could be there for her. So I fell in love with that poetry that night, and I have been writing ever since, and that was 1999. All that to say, my aunt lied. She did not do the poem next. She just lied. So she won too.
Hi. Do you ever feel pressured or obligated to speak on Black issues because you are a powerful woman of color?
Do I ever feel pressured to speak on Black
People
issues?
expect it from you.
I love that question. Thank you. Yes. This is the thing. I'm going to do it anyway, right? This is obviously what you're going to talk about because that's what you are, is the part that kind of is the needling. Because while I have a Black experience, a Black woman experience, a Black woman who is a mother experience, I also am a global citizen. And so my views are I get to be as objective as one would not expect because I'm erased. I'm ignored. And the things that I'm able to see are, those are the puppet strings because people rarely think that we are watching or care that we are watching. So I don't bristle at oh, you're a Black woman poet? Yes, I am. I love it. I feel like it's a superpower. But if the assumption is that's all I write about, then, I laugh at them. And I show them the children's books, like Woke and Chlorine Sky and Vinyl Moon, and I have a new book coming out called Seneca, which is historical fiction, only because it takes place in the area of Central Park where Seneca once existed. Thanks.
Got a microphone, and I'm willing to hand it over. Any online questions?
I'm a Taurus. I like long walks on the beach. Not now. I just tore my meniscus and I had surgery, so this is a week and a day from surgery, which is why you see the cane. I love softball. I'm great at it. And I'm really good at bowling. My average is 176.
Okay, well,
She said, damn, really?
we're not doing that.
Bet on me.
Okay, a few more questions, and then maybe we'll wrap it up.
Sure.
So you mentioned your mother, you mentioned your daughter. Does she like poetry? and does she like your poetry?
Thank you for saying that. My daughter, who is now 26, is a singer, songwriter. She just finished a fellowship with Spotify and Google as a copywriter. And she does like my poems. I'm always surprised. But if you look online for something called Blurred Vision, Mahogany L. Browne, it's on Button Poetry. That is her singing beside me as I read the poem. So I'm very
It's
lucky.
one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
Raise a hand.
How much do you read?
Boy, including audiobooks?
The way that you speak, the way that you write. Sorry, the way that you speak, the way that you write, like, it's obvious that you are reading a lot, but how much are you reading?
So at this present moment, I have 3 books on my bedside. I jump between books, poetry, short stories, or anthology and fiction. And I have an audiobook that I listen to once a week. And shout out to the library system, because I couldn't afford that library, okay? But the library gives you free audiobooks. 10 recommend, do it. So yeah, I think I'm ingesting about 5 to 7 books a month. Not including the journals. Because I feel like, the journals you're skimming those constantly. And if this is your job, if this is what you love, I love books. I'm the person that used to steal books from the library. And when I say steal, I mean I just checked them out and didn't take them back. I didn't steal them. But then they called my mom and they were like, you owe $500. This is before we had, free fine relief. And they made me work it off as a volunteer, which is good because I feel more in love with books. Thank you for that question, Tom.
I was wondering who your favorite poet is.
Oh, good question. Who's my favorite poet? Not there. I think I have pillars, right? My pillars, when I think of poetry, I also think of like what they did with their poetry. I consider myself one of those artists where I'm not just stuck to the page. I'm not in one medium. I'm not in one mode. And I want my poems to do something. I want them to start conversations. I want them to be in the marches. I want them to be read at weddings. I want them to, all of which have been done. Like that, I want them to be a part of the everyday fabric. So my pillars are Sonia Sanchez, Audre Lorde, Jean Jordan. When I think of contemporaries, I'm looking towards Jive Poetic, Hala Aliad, Safia Ahillo, Nicole Seeley, Terrence Hayes, Suhair Hamad, Saul Williams, Aja Monet. Full stop. Thank you.
Thank you all for being here. Thank you for being a great and engaged audience. I want to say that many of the poets that Mahogany just mentioned will be here in September at Furious Flower. So if you're going to be here in July, be here. If you're not going to be here, you might want to come back. But again, follow us on social media and check out the website for information. Again, shout out to Honors for bringing Mahogany here. If you are here for a passport event, the stamp is in the back. And if you stay, we will stamp you now. Thank you to our online audience. Ooh, the survey. Thank you, Megan. Megan rocks. Everybody give Megan a round of applause for handling the text, for handling the social media, all those beautiful posters. And we have a survey. We get money when our funders hear how impactful and wonderful and enjoyable our programming is. So please take a minute to fill out the survey. And Mahogany is on social media. Please follow her, and she will be in the back signing the books she just read from. So please support our work. Oh, follow her because she's getting a really big award tomorrow. Oh, I didn't know that. She didn't tell me about all that. Okay. Thank you all. Have a good evening. Hey,